Today at 5, Lethbridge Regional Police introduce a new way of putting crime in the spotlight. Plus, fraud charges laid against a former Lethbridge pastor. And what the UF government shutdown means for us.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Lethbridge Regional Police have found a new way to shine the spotlight on the bad guys, but they need your help to identify Lethbridge's most wanted. Jeanette Roche has more.
Can you put a name to any of these faces? If so, the Lethbridge Regional Police want to know about it. The images are from surveillance video taken from crime scenes around the city that show people police want to talk to in connection with crimes like theft, assault, and passing off counterfeit currency. They're now available for public scrutiny on the LRPS website.
We have been unable to identify these individuals, and our whole goal is to have the public assist us in identifying these potential suspects or persons of interest.
It's a new initiative for the Lethbridge Police that just started this week, although similar photos have been featured before on the Neighborhood Watch website. That site will now link directly to the police site instead. And so far, it's a success.
They were posted yesterday. And as of this morning when I walked in my office, I had 3 individuals that had been identified.
Do you think this is a good idea? But it seems not everyone thinks this public display is so great.
Personally, I think that it is a breach of privacy, like according to FOIP and stuff, but I guess it might make public feel safer in a way.
Are they proven guilty?
Nope, not proven guilty.
I don't agree with it.
Why?
If you're not proven guilty, you're not guilty.
I guess it could be bad, but it could help in the long run as well.
They're not saying that these are guilty people. They're asking for the public's assistance in finding these people. They need all the tools they can get.
I think it's a great idea. I wasn't aware of the website, but I will definitely check it out. I think it will help immensely.
Police plan to continually update photos to the website. They'll remain on here for 6 months, but will be removed if the case is solved before that.
All they have to do is call in and refer to the case number that is there with the suspect, and or they can call Crime Stoppers and remain anonymous.
Jeanette Roche, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Now to check out the photos, you can log on to lethbridgepolice.ca and then click on the ID Suspects button. A U.S. federal jury has found a former Guatemalan military officer guilty of making false statements and obtaining an American citizenship unlawfully. A California jury says Jorge Sosa lied on his U.S. citizenship application about his role in the massacre of at least 160 people more than 3 decades ago in Guatemala. Sosa was arrested in Lethbridge 2 years ago while he was here visiting family. Sosa's lawyer said that he told officials about his military service during an unsuccessful asylum bid, and he plans to appeal the verdict. The 55-year-old former second lieutenant could face both a prison sentence and a loss of his U.S. citizenship when he is sentenced on December the 9th. The Alberta Securities Commission has laid 5 fraud charges against a 59-year-old Lethbridge man in connection with a real estate scam. Ronald James Aikens is alleged to have scammed investors in the sale of a land development in Medicine Hat. Aikens, a former pastor in Lethbridge, is also at the center of a $500 million class action lawsuit after thousands of Canadians lost thousands of dollars on a land development project near Calgary that never got off the ground. According to the newest charges, Aikens distributed securities without registering them and making false statements in an offering memorandum.
Well, the Alberta Securities Commission laid 5 charges against Mr. Aikens yesterday in connection with alleged breaches of the Alberta Securities Act. And what he was charged with was trading in securities without registration, distributing securities without a prospectus, making false or misleading statements in an offering memorandum, and committing fraud against investors.
Aikens' first court appearance has been set for November the 19th in Calgary. Meanwhile, the leader of a polygamous community in BC is appealing a federal tax court ruling that found he underreported his income by $1.8 million. Winston Blackmore argued in court his group should be able to use the same tax law that Hutterites use. spreading earnings among its members for tax purposes. But a judge ruled in August that his community didn't meet any of the criteria for that kind of a break. Documents filed on Blackmore's behalf in the Federal Court of Appeals say Campbell didn't properly interpret a section of the Income Tax Act that relates to filing taxes as a congregation. Okay, Dory, some showers are on the way. Moisture, though, is appreciated.
Yeah, it is, and it doesn't look like we're going to get a whole lot of it. Areas in the higher elevations, areas to the north of us, will be seeing some more precipitation than what it looks like we're going to see. It looks like overnight tonight we have a chance of seeing some showers, and then maybe tomorrow morning. But by the afternoon, mostly cloudy skies is what we'll be left with. So whatever moisture we get, we certainly need, and we'll be happy to see it come. But I'll have the details in a couple of minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you, Dory. A federal government shutdown south of the border is causing some people here to rethink their travel plans. There is a sliver of hope, though, in the U.S. budget impasse. President Obama has invited House and Senate leaders to the White House this evening for a meeting. Some 800,000 federal workers are off the job and not getting paid as the stalemate continues between Republicans and Democrats over Obama's health care overhaul. But as Terry Vogt reports, for the most part, it's been business as usual at the Coot-Sweetgrass border crossing south of Lethbridge.
Well, I'm hoping we do not have a problem going down there or coming back.
There may be a political mess south of the 49th, but that isn't going to stop Barbara and Roger Romble from traveling to Great Falls to celebrate their anniversary.
We're going to do some shopping and play the machines, do a few things.
Like many cross-border travelers, the Rombos have been keeping an eye on developments in the United States. Jared Zakis makes the trip 2 or 3 times a month to pick up custom auto parts. He was happy to discover there wasn't much difference.
You know, standard procedures, you got any weapons, alcohol in the house, anything like that? No, going ahead. So
I haven't personally noticed any impact.
Truck driver Anthony Beasley is taking a shipment of iron from Salt Lake City to Wetaskiwin. He's been hearing a lot about the shutdown on the radio and suspects they might be feeling the impact back home in Idaho.
They're just saying that all these government people are being laid off, and a lot of tourist towns are going down to part-time for those employees that rely on tourists, because a lot of parks and recs are closed down.
And for many travelers, that's one of the big concerns.
We planned on stopping at the national parks on our way to Texas and might not get to.
And while Republicans and Democrats may be firmly entrenched and don't seem to be going anywhere, this Louisiana trucker plans to keep pushing on.
It may have some slowdown on some of our paperwork and stuff. Hopefully it won't impact us too bad.
While essential services like border security, air traffic control, and food safety inspections are still being provided, experts say the shutdown will likely cause delays in U.S. visa and passport applications.
What do we think? Send the politicians to jail and keep paying our civil employees. How about that?
What I hear mostly is they're going to have problems with trucks and stuff that are taking stuff in there. So I'm just taking the wife, so I think I should be all right.
Those who work here at the border say this kind of a lineup is pretty normal for midweek and this time of day, but they wonder what will happen if the U.S. shutdown continues after Thanksgiving, when snowbirds traditionally start heading south. Terry Vogt, CTV News, at the Canada-U.S. border.
Now turning to local politics. Tonight, Lethbridge voters will get a chance to hear from the 29 candidates vying for one of the 8 spots on City Council. The Southern Alberta Council on Public Affairs is holding an election forum starting tonight, 7 o'clock, the Theatre Gallery in the main downtown library. If you would like to cast your ballot early, you'll be able to do that coming this Saturday. The first of 7 advance polls gets underway at Lethbridge City Hall. Alberta Superstore workers have rejected a contract offer from Loblaws, increasing the likelihood of a province-wide strike this Sunday. The United Food and Commercial Workers Union says employees at Real Canadian Superstore and Real Canadian Liquor Stores voted on the proposal Sunday and Monday. The union says the rejection rate was between 96% and 98% across Alberta. Lethbridge Public School District enrollment numbers are higher than expected. 9,044 students is above the 1.5% hike that was originally projected for Lethbridge Public School District number 51. Richardson Oilseeds is expanding into overseas markets. Boon Ji Wei will be the director of marketing for the Singapore development. Emmanuel Carrier will be taking on the European market out of Geneva. Richardson's believes this will expand its canola-based products and create more demand for Canadian products. The Winnipeg-based company has over 2,400 employees across Canada and the U.S. Well, if you haven't heard yet, there is a shortage of diesel fuel in some parts of Western Canada. Energy giant Suncor says that the shortage is mainly affecting truckers and farmers who use Petro Pass commercial locations. A company spokeswoman says the shortage began on Monday, and there's no immediate word on how long it could last. No word so far, though, on what's causing the shortage either. A local businessman is hoping to make a splash in the U.S. market. Randy Schellenberg was chosen to attend the MedTrade Innovation Products Awards in Orlando, Florida. His product creates help in an effortless way of sliding any chair backward and forward safely while remaining stable. Schellenberg says this opportunity to expand into the U.S. market is a good step in the right direction. Now, best-selling novelist Tom Clancy has died at the age of 66. Clancy wrote military thrillers, among them #1 bestsellers Clear and Present Danger and Patriot Games, as well as The Hunt for Red October. Clancy was praised for his meticulous detail and knowledge of military matters. Many of his books were turned into blockbuster movies. Clancy lived in Baltimore his entire life. He died in a hospital there. His publisher did not release the cause of his death. And as you can expect, the fear of a looming U.S. default took tolls on stocks. The TSX, Loonie, and the Dow are just a few of the markets closing down today. On the way back, Dory's got more about that precipitation we can expect.